welcome, guys, to Books, and More Books, where we talk about books, if you were not aware. The book that we shall be reviewing today is The Host by the one and only Stephenie Meyer. Calm down. For those of you who are booing, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the book. I personally find this a very interesting book, and I shall talk about that now. First thing I'm going to do is go through the summary with you. The summary is Malene Strider refuses to fade away. Oh, catches your attention, doesn't it? Our world has been invaded by an unseen enemy. Humans become hosts for their invaders, their minds taken over while their bodies remain intact, and continue their lives apparently unchanged. Most of humanity has succumbed. When Malene, one of the few remaining quote-unquote wild humans, is captured, she is certain it is her end. She's very, very certain about that. Wanderer, the invading soul who has been given Malene's body, was warned about the challenges of living inside a human. The overwhelming emotions, the glut of senses, the too vivid memories. But there was one difficulty Wanderer didn't expect. The former tenant of her body refusing to relinquish possession of her mind. Right? She's so rude. How dare she stay? Wanderer probes Malene's thoughts, hoping to discover the whereabouts of the remaining human resistance. Instead, Malene fills Wanderer's mind with the visions of the man Malene loves, Jared, a human who still lives in hiding. Unable to separate herself from body's desire, Wanderer begins to yearn for a man she has been tasked with exposing. When outside forces make Wanderer and Malene unwilling allies, they set off on a dangerous and uncertain search for the man they both love. Now, straight off the bat, the Host summary is very catching, very interesting, compared to some of Stephenie Meyer's other summaries. Through that, we've learned about a lot about this through that, but as a person who's read the book, it's like 659 pages. That, like, the summary only covers at most the first 10 to 15 chapters. And then, like, there's just a world of other things happening, and they're just all a bundle of interesting. Now, these bundle of interesting things that are happening are great. I don't really want to give a lot away, but she goes out looking for, let's say, the man they love, like they said, and they do find him, but it's not the best of reunions for Wanderer, at least. Lucky for her, she finds somebody for herself. Very awkward relationship. Don't know how you can have a relationship when you're a soul inside somebody else's body. At the same time, a soul in somebody else's body has a relationship. I don't really judge her because I'm still alone. Alright, now we're going to be comparing two very different comments that I found on Goodreads about the book. And then we shall discuss the comments and how I personally feel about them. I'm going to have a link in the description so that you can read the rest of the comment, because I only took the first part of each comment. The comments are actually way longer and way more detailed than I'm going to be talking about. But if you feel interested and you want to see the rest of the comment, I do have the person's name and the website, and I will be putting the link in the description. We shall be starting off with the comment. I'm going to read the bad comment because I just want to. Alright. What was I thinking to get this book? Read it, let alone finish it. And it's not worth it. To sum up my impression of this story. Why? This refers to the pointless waste of an entire tropical forest on the printing of this 600 plus pager in which nothing happens. I kid you not. Well, what else did you expect from a woman who created sparkly virgin vampires? Hanging my head in shame. In my defense, here's the quote from this train wreck book. Perhaps without the lows, the highs could not be reached. Maybe I expected the highs, just teeny, teeny highs, after Twilight the Sparkly Book I Don't Speak Of. This definitely had the aforementioned lows, but also a conspicuous absence of highs. And it didn't even have the unintentional hilarity of Twilight Sparkly series. Wow. This comment is by, this part of comment is by Natalia on Goodreads. Now, as a person who's read Twilight and this book, I completely understand where she's coming from. In the sense that she says nothing happens. Yeah, nothing happens. Nothing like overly sexual happens. I don't know if she's looking for like, porn. I would recommend she not read, teen adult stuff. They usually don't put that much stuff in there at all. But there's there's very interesting things that happen other than sexuality. There's a lot of action, cruelty, very, very imaginative things coming from Stephenie Meyer in this book. Things that I personally haven't seen in other books. I think it was pretty good. Though, sometimes it was a little stale, but at the same time, it being stale, it still kept my attention and was still pretty interesting. So I kept reading it, and turns out it was for my personal taste, it was a really good book. Alright, now we're going to read the good comment. The good comment. Shadacha, Adashata, whatever that jumble of DSOTs is. I don't know what that is. There are more accurate phrases, more fitting descriptions of my reaction at the end of this book. Unfortunately, those cannot be precisely translated into the English language. We noticed. Holy crap, I can't even process my thoughts to write a review for this. This book was so stunning, so amazing, so crazy good that I can't even describe it. XD. I'm extremely impressed by Stephenie Meyer. This beats Twilight by a long shot. It's so much better. She writes so much better in this book. And the complex, in-depth plot is nothing compared to Twilight's shallow one. This idea is so cool. The characters are awesome and lovable. Stephenie Meyer is incredibly skilled with emotion. That's her strongest suit. She writes emotion in a way that makes you feel everything that the character feels. When the character is in pain, the reader is in pain too. This portion of comment was by Sela Maylene on Goodreads. Again, description will be in, the link will be in description, so you can read the rest of her comment. Her comment is, again, very in-depth, and it goes way beyond this. I completely agree with her on this topic because as a person who's read Twilight more than one occasion, it's everyone who's read Twilight is in a freaking love and hate relationship with Twilight. This book is by far way better than Twilight. It's so good. She's very right about Stephenie Meyer's ability to write emotions. When you're reading as Wanderer, who's taken over Malene's body, and you still have Malene in there, it's just a very confusing time, and the things that they put Wanderer through, because she's an alien, is just so harsh. But at the same time, you know where they're coming from, because again, some random alien just came in your niece's, your girlfriend, your sister's body, trying to get in touch with you guys, and unknowns to you, she could be a traitor, which her job was to find you, call other people to discover you, and then so all of you can be taken over. So it's very, very iffy on that. And you feel all of that emotion while going through all of this. It's very interesting, very in-depth. If you like emotional pastimes, emotional roller coasters, this is a really good book. And overall, I highly recommend this book, especially if you've read Twilight and you didn't even know that she had this book called The Host. Just read it so you can just get another side of Stephenie Meyer, because Twilight was very popular, but if you've read it, you know what's wrong. But if you don't feel like you have the time, the stamina, the integrity to read a 600 plus book, 600 plus page book, that you're not really sure about, there is a movie out, and unlike the adaptation of Twilight, it's way more accurate to the book. It's not completely accurate. You're not going to get like the whole story, of course, just like any other book to movie adaptation. It's never ever accurate. Like, it's never ever 100%. But this movie does, at least probably gets like 85% right to the book's accuracy. So I do still recommend watching it if you don't feel like reading the book. I will have a link to where you can buy the book, a link to Stephenie Meyer's website so you can see the book again, think about it, I don't know, and that's about it. And plus the link to the comments that I was talking about. And I shall be doing another book review. This is going to be a series. I currently have books lined up to be doing reviews about, but if anybody has a book that they personally think should be recognized, you can go ahead and leave it in comments, and when I can go ahead, check out the book. If I have time, read it, and then I could put it into my rotation and actually have a review video after I read the book. So any book you want to recommend, be it on a website, be it an actual book, go ahead, talk about it. Put in the comments. I'll read it when I can. Thank you. Please come back next time. And may the darkness be with you.